And after not speaking with him for quite a while, I just reached out, hey, let's talk. And he was like, sure, come on over, let's talk. And I've been to his house many times. I showed up, he's naked at the front door. Wanted woman, being a wanted woman, has given me a feeling of having a brand, and understanding that not everybody is ready for the brand that I am. And I need to be patient to connect with the person who is.
Hey, family, welcome back to The Love Lens, the absolute number one podcast helping you to shift the way that you see love one episode at a time, right? So today, what we're talking about is all about how do you choose the right person for you? I get this question all the time because what I find is that many professional women, successful women, many people fall into situationships because they are convenient. So I have my best-selling book here, Wanted Woman, The Busy Woman's Guide to Attracting and Choosing a Love That Lasts. And in this book, right, so we head on over to chapter 9, How to Choose the Right Man. Come on, y'all. Come on. So I remember when I was a student, when I was a kid, I would go to a church called St. Peter's, and this is in Queens, New York. And my pastor, Pastor Joy Clark, absolutely amazing woman. And we would have Friday night youth group. And in Friday night youth group, she would separate the boys from the girls and do small talks. And I remember in the talk, one of the talks on a Friday night, she said, what is it that you see for yourself when you grow up? Everybody, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to take over the world, right? And she said, okay, well, what about your husband? Well, I hope he has a job. You would like these expectations were low. And she checked us. She said, listen, guys, you want to have the same aspirations and expectations for your husband in life, the person that you marry, right? So that is something that I always kept in the back of my mind from my formative years of what it is that I desire in a husband, right? So I'm not just going to let you off the hook where you could be rolling in the mud like the pig from Charlotte's Web and think that you could come holler at me, right? Not to say that you are beneath me or I'm above you, but just in terms of what are we doing in this world and do we align? So here's the thing. Have you chosen men that haven't heard you, don't cherish you, and just absolutely aren't it? Now, I talk about in this book specifically, right, the 5 types of men you want to avoid. And so let's go over here, right? So person number 1 is the player. Anybody here ever been cheated on? Me, right? Halle Berry, Jennifer Lopez, and the rest of them. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, right? So the player, the guy who is all about the chase but doesn't want a real relationship. I remember I had a girlfriend that stayed with a guy for maybe 4 years. And on their first date, he said he didn't believe in monogamy. But because they had such a great date, she said, I'm okay with it. 4 years later, still no ring. Him thinking they're in an open relationship, she realized that she really wasn't happy. Sis, I want more for you. So if someone says they do not believe in monogamy, but you do, this is not the person for you. Okay, so guy number 2 to avoid. 5 types of men you want to avoid. Come on, drop avoid in the comments. Here we go. So the control freak. This is the person that wants to control you and everyone around you, right? He wants to control everything. So it's his way or the highway. If you're with this person now, blink twice. The control freak is not the person for you. In relationships, there is an ebb and flow to how this things go. So if you find yourself saying, oh, babe, let's do this, and 100% of the time, your voice doesn't matter. You don't feel heard. He wants to control where you work, how you dress, what you do. Run. This isn't it. You got it. Okay. Number 3, the missing one. He may be charming, may seem charming, but he's really not ready or willing to open up or commit emotionally. Have you gotten that guy where he just shows up maybe for that midnight, right? For that midnight connection, but you don't see him any other time of the day? Or maybe he only shows up when he needs something from you. You want to take note. You want to pay attention. Open your eyes, sis. If he is missing at the critical points of your life, then he could just stay missing. You got that? Mm-hmm. Number 4, the narcissist. Now, this is a very popular word in society nowadays, right? Since that red table talk. So it's like the narcissist. He focuses where? Solely on himself and doesn't have the capacity, right? He doesn't have the capacity for empathy or genuine interest in your life. So if you say, brother, I have this big board meeting, I have this big presentation, I have this big podcast, I have this big business meeting, I have this big whatever, I have something, you know what? I'm making a stick house and it's important to me, right? I'm building a garden in the backyard. Listen, I'm trying to cook this meal and perfect this recipe. If this man cannot ask follow-up questions about something that you care about, this is the type of person you need to just go ahead and let it go. You got it? Avoid. Are we hearing this? And then person number 5, the project. How many of us have been guilty of picking up projects saying, you know what? Dear Lord, I just want to build this man. I'm going to take a little bit from over here, my ex over here. I'm going to try and piece him together and he's just going to be amazing. Jesus, he has no ambition, vision, or anything else, but I can help him. Raise your Bible. If you believe, listen, sis, you are not at Lakewood Church, TD Jakes Church, or any of these other places. I believe in evangelism, but not evangelical dating. Are you hearing me? So we are not picking up projects. I can help cheer you on. Cheerleader, right? So you could help cheer him on. But if you have to be the person to make the appointments, to build the business, to set it all up for him, and you are not a wife, we need to go ahead and say, no, thank you. No, thank you. We are not here for projects. I know you might be in construction, sis, but do not build a man. You could build a house. Okay. All right. So here are the 5 types of men to what? Avoid. Number 1, the player. Number 2, the control freak. Number 3, the missing one. Number 4, the narcissist. And number 5, the project. Are you guilty of dating or entertaining or situationshipping any of these kind of men? If yes, go ahead and inbox me. I'd love to hear all about these situations. Okay, go ahead and comment. All right. So now we've talked about who to avoid. Who are we avoiding in this situation? Who are we not going to date? Who are we not going to entertain? Who are we not going to keep in the lineup because they're just not it, right? They're just not it. As a wanted woman achieving new triumphs every day, I believe that you were born a wanted woman. But now it's just to figure out what you want. And I find that many times we get confused about what that is. What do we want? What you want? Baby, who got it? I don't know, Coach Cass. So here are 5 types of men that you may want to date. And what I will say is this can also apply to men, right? So just flip it, right? So in terms of the player, the person who doesn't want to commit, the control freak, the narcissist. Now we have been guilty of being these types of people. So if you are a woman listening in, I want you to start checking yourself. You know what? I do like things done a certain way. Listen, as women, I know we know best, but is there room for a man? Are you guilty of being that control freak? Right? Does it always have to go your way? Not only am I the president, I am also a client. I am guilty of being a control freak where things have to go a certain way. So I'm married. I have a beautiful baby girl. And, sometimes I have in my mind of what fun is going to look like for the day. And sometimes when daddy's like, oh, let's go for ice cream because I don't like ice cream. I'm like, why are we doing that? So I've had to learn that I don't have to be the only dictator of fun. You get that? I can allow someone else's influence in and go with the flow. I don't have to get the ice cream. I don't have to get the sorbet. I could just stand there and be a part of the experience that we're curating for my daughter. And it doesn't only have to come from me, that my husband can have a say too. So I've had to check myself. And yes, he has had to check me too. Y'all can hear more about that in our episode, right? But it's just really being able to look at, what am I doing to contribute to this relationship moving forward or moving backward? So that's a side note, right? Are you guilty of being that person? Listen, ladies, it's time to fix your broken picker. At the end of the day, one thing I know is that if you've ever been frustrated with love, if you keep choosing the wrong guy, if you end up in situationships, then today's episode is all for you. I believe that you're a wanted woman, sis. Now it's the question, do you believe that you're wanted? Let's get into it. All right, so let's move on to the 5 type of men that you should give the time of day. You say, I want to date you. And here's the thing. I believe that women choose. And why do I say that? Because society often makes it seem like men are the ones that can throw you away or pick you up. Now, I know it's biblical. You know, a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. But at the end of the day, sis, you still have to say yes, right? So I still believe that you choose. You are not a damsel in distress waiting on the side of the road, waiting for somebody to pick you up. You're not broken and disheveled. Now, you may feel broken at times. You may feel unwanted. You may feel like something is wrong or your picker is broken and you're wondering to yourself, how is this ever going to work? I get that. But at the end of the day, you choose, right? Even with our emotions, I choose. Repeat after me. I choose. You get that? I choose. So here we go. We're on page 96, sis, right? So if you want to pick up the book at Amazon, you can. Okay. Wanted woman. Here we go. So 5 types of men you do want to date. Mr. Compassion, a man who shows understanding. What I need from you is understanding. Yeah. Don't judge my singing. Here we go. So Mr. Compassion, a man who always shows understanding, kindness, empathy towards values and respects your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Doesn't that just feel good? If you share something and he respects how you feel, you may not agree, but does he respect it? Compassion. Come on, y'all. Number 2, connector, a man who is an effective communicator and values open and honest conversation. Mr. Connector is here to listen in and to share how he feels. He communicates how he feels. How many times have you been in a situation you're like, well, why didn't you just tell me that's how you felt? Right? So for instance, I am guilty. Listen, there is nowhere in this or in my coaching practice or my business or in the community that I serve in the Real Love Network where I shared that I'm a perfect human. I am not perfect. I don't always get it right? And my husband will definitely point out when I don't get it right. Let's be clear, okay? So what was it? He was sharing with me what I felt like was something he shared before. Anybody ever get annoyed when somebody tells you a story, then they tell it to you again, and you're like, all right, we talked about this. Can we skip that? Where you going? And that doesn't always feel good. And as a practical bottom line kind of chick, I definitely have to adjust at times to be able to allow my husband to be who he is, right? And who I am. So in terms of me being that connector and that compassionate person, if he's sharing a story, for me to stop, hello, ladies, hello, for me to stop and take a moment to say, all right, let me listen without cutting off, without saying, wrap it up, without saying, okay, moving on to the next, what's the next item? And I have to catch myself. Okay. So this is to the women and to the men. Okay. Because we can be a little bit much sometimes on both sides. Okay. So Mr. Connector, a man who is an effective communicator and values open and honest conversations. So my husband very kindly shared with me, you know what, babe? I don't like it when you do that. And so I had to take a step back to care. If you're in relationship with someone, you got to care. Can you say with me? I must care. You got to care. And if you don't care about other people, stay single, right? It just is. It just is what it is. So in order to have a flourishing relationship, to choose the right person, to fix your broken picker, on both sides, you have to be honest in your communication, but then you have to care after that. Number 3, Mr. Champion, a man who encourages you to pursue your dreams, support your growth and well-being, uplifts you when you need it. Walk like a champion, talk like a champion. Hey, right? So a man who encourages you to pursue your dreams. So in becoming a love coach, I've been a coach since 2004. right? 2004. And in becoming a love coach, I was really scared, right? Because I hadn't been married for 72 years. I didn't have 13 divorces. My heartbreak was rough, but it wasn't like destitute. I didn't lose an arm and a leg. And it was my husband that encouraged me. He said, sis, like you're making an impact anyway. You have the certifications. This is your magnificent obsession. This is what you do. This is what you eat, breathe, and sleep. This is what you love. Like, you can do this. And sometimes you need that person, and that person should be your person. The person that you choose to do life with should be a person that is uplifting you in your dreams. I remember when my husband came to me, this is when we were just dating. He was doing wholesale real estate and he wanted to switch over to speaking. The average speaker makes $2,000, y'all. And he wanted to go into full-time speaking. And so I could have been that person that said, you know what, maybe you just stick to the real estate because, that's what's making the money. But instead I said, do what God has called you to do, because at the end of the day, who am I to keep you from that, right? Let's do this. And now he's been able to surpass everything he's ever done before. I think it's because he's married to the right one, right? If I do say so myself. So you want to start looking at, right? Is this someone that encourages you? Your champion. All right. So Mr. Confidence is number 4. So these are all C's, right? So Mr. Confidence, a man who is secure in himself, confident in his abilities, and is not overly dependent on you or your relationship. There are some men out here that cannot make one livid decision without you. Sis, I know you have many things on your plate. You are the glue. You have so many things going on. So you need somebody who is confident. Like, I could do this. Now, sometimes some men are a little bit overconfident. I'm sorry, fellas. Sometimes y'all do a lot. But is he confident in who he is when he steps into a room? I don't care if he's the mechanic or the CEO of the mechanic shop, wherever he is in between, right? Does he walk in a room with his own confidence? He's not looking to you to build it. Yes, there's some things we're not confident in, but is his aura, is who he is he confident in himself? Number 5, the curator, a man who knows how to have fun, is open to new experiences, and is not afraid to embrace something new. So what do I mean by that? The curator. So what I know is by you watching and listening to this podcast, The Love Lens, is you're of a growth mindset. And if you choose someone who is not open to new experiences, to a podcast, to therapy, to travel, if he's not open, he may not have done it before you, but if he's not open to trying it out, that's going to be rough for you, sis. That's going to be rough. So what are the 5 types of men that you do want to date? Mr. Compassion, Mr. Connector, Mr. Champion, Mr. Confidence, and Mr. Curator. You got that? The 5 C's. So I want you to write those things down. And as you come in contact with men, start to say, well, this is good. This might be good, right? Is that helpful? I hope it is. So now what's really cool is I have someone special coming to join us. Have you ever struggled when it comes to conversations on dates, maybe a first date or even your 50th date? One thing I know is that we need to have more meaningful conversations. And that's why I created the Love Deck. 60 questions to ask before choosing the one, but really to deepen your conversations. So whether it's with that guy that you're dating or with your mom or your close girlfriends, what I know is we got to speak more to the heart of our people. Grab your Love Deck today. It's a great gift for others, and you could get it right now in our Amazon store. Pick up yours. One side is affirmations. The other side is dating conversations. Get yours today. Pick up the Love Deck. Hey, family. Welcome to another episode of The Love Lens, changing your lens on love, one episode at a time. Now, I am absolutely excited because today I have someone really special with me, someone that has lit up my world since being a part of it. And Lolita Jackman, she's a corporate executive that could get your travel together too. Welcome, Lolita. So excited to see you, sis. What's up?
Hey, Coach Cass, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So, Lolita, now, can you share a little bit of what your love life look like? Like, I know that, you work full time, you have your own business, you have many things going on. So, what did love look like or dating look like before we came together?
Oh gosh, it was a sad trail of situationships. I guess I guess how I would describe it. I allowed myself to, be part of relationships that really didn't serve me. They were convenient. They were not things that I was fully invested in. They were things that just kind of fill the time. It wasn't really a deep and long lasting and loving kind of situation. It was just, what was convenient and what was easy because I'm busy and I really didn't think I, could commit myself or make the commitment to, just being fully invested in a relationship.
Oh, I get
So
that. So were you dating before? Like, was that something that you were actively doing or not so much?
not so much, not dating. Nope, nope, nope. I just really had, some folks I could call up, say, hey, what's going on? And we'd hook up, we'd connect, we'd, do whatever. So it wasn't really dating.
Yeah.
Um, no, not that whole, let me get to know you deeper. And no, it wasn't that kind of situation.
Right. Okay.
Bad
So
or
then you found me, and I believe was your first experience Wanted Woman Live?
actually, you and I have been going together for about 5 years. I've been listening to the
5 years? Lolita, hold on. Hold on. We've been going together for 5 years?
Yeah, yeah. And then I kind of fell off and then finally said, I got to do something about this. I've been listening to Coach Cass all this time, and I hear her saying the things that make sense to me and I want to be doing that. So how do I figure out how to get deeper into what Coach Cass has to offer? And that's was Wanted Women Live, my first actual experience of working with you.
So, question, Lolita, because I've had people that have been following for 10 years, been following for 5 years, been following for 1 week. Like, what that finally say, okay, now is the time. Was there like a breaking point? Was there something that said, now is the time? Like, did somebody hurt you? Like, what happened? What had happened?
Yeah, yeah, there was a situation with one of my situationships where, I was trying to, or I wanted to pull away. I was like, I deserve better. I need to put together a better, expectation for myself. And after not speaking with him for quite a while, I just reached out to say hello and like, hey, let's talk. Um, and he was like, sure, come on over, let's talk. And I've been to his house many a times. I showed up, he's naked at the front door.
Hey, girl, what?
And that to me, I was like, wow, the expectation. I see what I set myself up for. This is not what I'm
You
trying to
came to
do.
talk. He came to do something else.
Yeah, he's like, we gonna talk. Yeah, we gonna talk. Yeah, right. He wanted the pillow talk, whatever the talk. But I just thought, it's a situation where I'm not even seen as like a person with, feelings and thoughts and want to talk about other things. And it said to me, why am I doing this? Because this is not what I want. It's not getting me what I want. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I got to go.
Yeah. I could definitely see how that can be a turning point for you. Like, wait a second, what am I doing here that this man would just come to the door naked when I was trying to have a conversation? Ooh. Yes. All right. So you came on over, booked your ticket, booked your hotel all the way from Maryland down to South Florida to Wanted Woman Live. So tell me a little bit about what that experience was for you, because that was a big deal for me, right? So Wanted Woman Live, I've wanted to do a live event like that for almost 20 years. And my own fears of, if you build it, will they really come? Like I want to put something there, but the marketing, the words, the copywriting, all of it is just so tough when curating an experience. So that 3-day experience, what was that like for you?
Oh, I mean, that was it was so enlightening. It was the release, the initial release that I needed to understand that I can do this, right? That everything that I have been through has brought me to this point to say, let all that go because something new and fresh that you ain't even seen yet, right? Is out
Yes.
there for me.
Mm.
So it was so enlightening. The love was there. I felt so loved, so cared for. So I mean, it was a non-judgment zone, and you hear that a lot, but it truly was. I mean, I've heard people say that, but I really felt like I could say anything. I did get up to the mic to speak, which I'm a little usually slow to get in front of the camera or on the mic to share my feelings, right? And
Yeah.
it was really the start of Lolita, your voice, right, needs to be heard, right? For myself, even, not even that I need to go out and tell anyone else, but I need to be able to share and speak about how I'm feeling, so that I can have the growth that I need, to be the woman I want to become.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it
wow.
was it was awesome. It was so awesome.
You coming back next year?
I'm already signed up. Yes, honey,
Oh,
I'll be there.
no. Yes. So, okay. So, from Wanted Woman Live, you decided to join our community, the Real Love Network. So,
Mhm.
what has shifted in you? Because one thing I know is I talk a lot around choosing the right person for you. And I find that so often professional women end up in this situationship land. It's kind of like quicksand. It looks good at first, and then you start sinking in, and it's hard to get your foot out. And every time you're trying to fight your way out, it's like you sink deeper and deeper, much like the naked man. Right. And there's
Yes.
many women that fall into that situation of having someone comfortable. Ooh, but the quicksand, it feels good around my leg, right? It's warm, it's cozy, it's comforting. I want to continue to do this until they're overwhelmed and overcome by what's not good. So what has been this journey so far for you in being a part of our community and learning something new at your tender, mature age?
I thought when I was after Wonder Woman Lie, I was going to have this phased plan, like, oh, I'm going to spend the next year just working on myself and trying to get myself together, and then I'll be ready to maybe start dating, and maybe next year in the summertime, or. But after joining the Real Love Network, taking the courses, I didn't even take that many courses. I started to feel confident about, okay, let me get a dating profile out there. I think I can. Let me go ahead and get online and see if I can do, and sharing it in the Heartbeat app and getting feedback from the other ladies and from you and from your team helped me really get more confident about, okay, I can get out there. Then I start to get some people who I start filtering through and figuring out what tools do I need, to figure out how to pick a better person, right? Who's interesting enough to want to pursue a conversation with, right, in person or over the phone. So learning those things along the way has just helped me get more and more confident about how to select who are the people even worthy enough, I should say, to date, right? Because I have high expectations of myself, right? But those are always need to be reflected upon, right? Because I can't necessarily put my expectations on everybody else. I need to understand where they're at. So taking the time to learn about other people. I mean, all of this has been things that I've learned through the Real Love Network. I didn't do that before. I didn't take the time to let's hear about this, and they tell you
Mhm.
about this, and this is data, this is information. How do I feel about that? How does that make me
Yeah.
feel?
So it's a
Is
it's
that
a
something?
big deal, right? The process that we go through, it's not what our parents taught us at all, right? Like what did your parents teach you when it came to choosing the right
Mm,
kind of love for you?
yeah, I can't say that there was anything that was taught per se. I'm the youngest of three girls. And I did see all the trouble my sisters got in for, being interested in boys and, going out and not coming home at curfew and all that other stuff when I was growing up. So I didn't really get a lesson of what to do. I just kind of saw the don't do this, don't.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't really recall any kind of, education or instruction, from my family, from my
And
parents.
and that's what I find, right? I've been working with professional women for almost 20 years now. What I find is that we are not taught this
No.
at all. Like, how do
Mm-mm.
you choose the right person for you? And so often we just settle. with what's available, what you said, convenient, comfortable. It's really scary. So tell the folks, I want you to tell, you said this other night on one of our sessions, and, I call him the Hallmark guy, right? So I'd love for you to just share about that first date. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that date was just like, is this a Hallmark special? So go ahead and share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I met a gentleman on a site who is a musician. He's a pianist. And I've, never dated a musician before. On our first date, we met at this lovely little wine bar. I just had great conversation and enjoyed getting to know each other. After the wine bar, we went on a little walk through the town, the little town. It's on the water. Stopped by a bakery to get some baked goods, and then saw a coffee shop. Went over to the coffee shop to sit down and have coffee with our baked goods. And it turned out there was a piano in the coffee shop. And I had picked a table by the piano, not thinking because it was by the window, so it was just a good spot. And then after we had our coffee and our baked goods, I just kind of jokingly asked him, was he going to play? And then he got on the piano and he serenaded me, played the piano beautifully for me. And it was so sweet. I felt like I was in a movie. When he finished playing, everybody started clapping and said, play more, more. They wanted to hear more. And he played it. So he played another song, but it was really just this sweet, sweet moment, that I just never, I thought it was movies, right? That happens in the movies, but it was a lovely day, a lovely afternoon with him. He walked me to my car, kissed me gently, put me in the car. I mean, it was just total gentleman the whole time. Just really was a lovely, lovely first date.
Girl, I'm just like, oh, that is so sweet, right? And here's the thing, even if you never had another date, the beautiful part is that you had something like this. And had you ever had a date like this before?
Never, no, no.
Never. Never. And so, like, as someone mature in age who's never had a date like this is life changing. And it doesn't have to be your husband, but just the part that you had this date is just, ooh, that goodness, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's a moment that I will remember forever. It was just so sweet. It was just the nicest day ever.
Yeah. So now, did this guy become your man after that? Like, next day, okay, you're mine, you're my man. That's it. Because that's what most women do, right? Like, oh, we had a great first date. This is it. So what did you do differently, Lolita?
No, he's not my man. We've been on several dates since, and he's still not my man. I am collecting data. I've told him, I'm collecting data, just as he should be collecting data. And I really do enjoy his company. We have a good time when we are out. But I am continuing to date other people. I mean, I'm still on the apps looking for other interesting people, talking to a couple folks who seem interesting. I haven't shut everything down because I had a great first date. No.
Oh, I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud.
I
Oh
told
my
you I'd be a
goodness.
good student.
Coming from, 5 years of being in my atmosphere where we was going together, right? To now actually stepping in and us working alongside each other. Would you say that there is a big difference between being out there and just watching some stuff on the internet and being in here inside of our inner circle in the network?
Absolutely. I mean, winging it and thinking, "Oh, I'm smart. I can figure this out. I can do this." And, no, it's really more complicated than we think. Everyone's like, "Oh, it should be easy." Well, if you have the tools, you're right. It should be easy. But a lot of us don't realize we don't even have the tools. We don't have the tools to make the right selections, to really pace ourselves, not be triggered by things that people say, take the time to contemplate and be introspective, before you make a big decision like this. I just think that it's not taught. And I wouldn't be doing it if I hadn't joined the network.
I appreciate that.
Thank
So
you.
what about the other women around, right? So would you say the caliber of women that are within the network are amazing? Like, let me not lead the witness. So what would you say about the community itself?
It's wonderful. I mean, it's a lot of other professional, busy, business women. I have several women who, we have chats in the app. We have chats on our phone, text chats. I'm meeting some ladies next weekend for dinner. Well, for what are we doing? Lunch and drinks. Um, I mean, it's quality women. I mean, these are women that I want to be around, right? That I don't. It's not women that's like, I'm here and she's not quite there. It's not that kind of situation at all. I mean, everyone is a busy professional woman. They're doing their thing. They're out there, just doing what we do. I mean, it's lots of black girl magic happening. Lots of it.
I love it. I love it. Not to say that only Black women can join the Real Love Network. We got some Latinas. We have some Anglo-Saxon. We got a little bit of everything. But, yes, Black girl magic is still amazing. Oh, my goodness. So, all right. Did I leave anything out, Lolita?
I mean, I think the Heartbeat app, right, which is kind of truly the heartbeat of the whole process, right? Because the courses are there, all the information you need is there. It walks you through from step to step to step what you need to do so you don't jump ahead. It's a library full of books, but with the help of your team, you find out which path you should be on based on where you're at. So I did want to mention that the team support is awesome. All the reminders, oh my gosh, you know how busy we is. But if it wasn't for all the reminders to, this session is starting now. The different women's sister circle Mondays and just Jamal, all the different coaches that come in to pour into us. It's all just, I mean, it's life altering. It really is just such a positive, loving, encouraging, you can do this type environment. And I'm so grateful for it. Really, truly grateful.
So, Lolita, we've talked about so many things, but I think a big part of choosing the right person, I created the love deck, right? And I believe that you have it. Don't don't scare me if you don't. But I literally created the love deck to help you in choosing the right person for you. Half of the sides is affirmations, the other side is dating conversation starters, and really helping you to dig deeper on these dates and choosing and sifting through men. So, do you use the love deck? What has that experience been for you?
Yeah, the love deck is awesome. So I read the affirmations of the love deck every day, daily. I go through every single one of those affirmations on those cards, and I am intending to use the date sparks on my next date, which is coming up in a couple of days. I haven't done it yet, but I think he'd be open, so I'm going to bring it.
That's exciting. Yeah. So then this is your reminder, sis, about the other side. Hello.
Yes, yes.
I love it. So, okay. So, Lolita, here's something I didn't ask. What does it mean to you to be a wanted woman?
Oh wow. I mean, literally a woman achieving new triumphs every day. I am that exactly. I mean, it's a branding. I feel like I have a brand, right? And there's not everybody can appreciate, Porsche or Bentley right? So I feel like being a wanted woman has given me a feeling of having a brand, and understanding that not everybody is ready for the brand that I am. And I need to be patient to, connect with the person who is.
Yes. Come on, sis. You better be a brand called Wanted Woman. Oh, I am just absolutely loving it.
I believe it. I mean, I do feel like, I'm not snobby about it, but I do feel like dude, don't be coming up to this porch. You can't drive no Porsche. Stop. Go away.
You guys to know. You guys to know. I love it.
The only thing I would add is that I wish I had joined the Real Love Network sooner.
Blessings. Thank you. I appreciate you. And just thank you for taking the time out of your day, right? To just share a little bit of your story. And I just pray that this is a understanding to those listening that Lolita is not an anomaly. Like this can happen for you too, right? So no matter if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, our most mature member is over 70, right? So when we start to think about, is love still available? My invitation is, yes, it is, but we just have to tweak and fix that broken picker. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Lolita. For those tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you take the time to hit subscribe and watch it again. Go ahead, hit the notifications, watch this episode over and over again. Don't miss out on the next episode of The Love Lens. Thank you so much for tuning in. Keep loving, keep laughing, keep living. Bye. Wasn't that good? So that was not scripted or anything. But what did we see here? That essentially Lolita is dating a guy that sounds like a Mr. Curator, right? Open to new experiences. He's championing her. He's encouraging. He's compassionate, right? So there's so many aspects of this guy that fall in line with those 5 C's of the type of guy to date. And she stopped dating that man that showed up to the front door. That would be definitely a player from the Himalayas, just showing up naked to the door. Who invited you, sir? Who invited you? So I pray that you got something good from listening into the practical application of what I was sharing with you from the book, right? So when we put these two things together, it's the learning plus the application plus the action that really helps to curate the love life in which your eyes become clear. What I specialize in is clarity, right? Helping you to become clear, to clear your love lens, to be able to see and receive love in a different way that you've never experienced before. Listen, Lolita, right, is a mature woman. For some of us, we believe that love expires at a certain time and a certain day. And I'm going to tell you right now, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But what are you going to do about it? So here's some things that I want you to do in terms of practical application of listening into this episode. I want you to take some time today to just journal through what came up for you. What came up for you? I want you to journal through where have you been when it comes to love? And what are you doing about changing it? What I know is giving up, taking another year break, 6-month break, 10-year break is not helping you. And who are you working with? Because at the end of the day, if you're not working with someone, how do you get to really up-level your love life? Just like you do in business, just like you do in fitness, what are you doing for your love life? And so that is why I exist. I specifically am a love coach. Ooh-wee. And if you're like, you know what, Coach Cass, I need your help. Yes, come on, right? So what do you need to do? You go to our website, right? And click on support. So wantedwoman.com/support. You could click on support and really find out how we support you. I have an entire community in which I support professional women in their love journey. Lolita touched on it, the Real Love Network. I believe in real love. Oh, we're searching for that real love. Don't judge my singing. Here we go. So if you're searching for real love and you haven't been able to find it, sometimes doing it by yourself isn't it. And so that's why I exist. So after we journal through and you decide, where you'd like support in your love journey, then it goes into the action piece. What are you going to do differently after listening to this podcast, after joining the community? What are you going to do differently? Because too often what I know is you listen in while you're cooking, you're doing these other things, and then nothing different happens. You say, ooh, that was good. That was nice for her. There's countless stories of women like Lolita, and the only difference is that they chose to take action. So my invitation today is that you take action in your love life. Do something different. Start to shift that love lens, because at the end of the day, only you can. Nobody else can do this work for you. Are you hearing me? Are you getting what I'm saying? Nobody else can do it for you. So that's my invitation. Just do it, sis. Listen to me. What I want you to do right now is I want you to hit subscribe on this episode. Hit subscribe and share it. Share it. Rewatch it. Do all the things. But at the end of the day, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. Was this good? Make sure to comment on all things platforms. Make sure to listen in, subscribe, all the things. I know I just told you a million things to do, but at the end of the day, subscribe and keep watching. I'm Coach Cass, America's go-to love doctor, the creator of the Real Love Network and the Love Deck, 60 questions to ask before choosing the one. I am here for you, sis. The question is, will you be there for yourself? See you next time.